Hello everyone, Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. Today we'll be discussing something that has to do with Shabbat, Chol, Hamoed, Pesach, and now we'll be discussing Megillat Shir Hashirim. Minhag Israel, not all of Israel, but a lot of Israel to read Shir Hashirim on Leil HaSeder, some read afterwards in Chol on Shabbat morning. To read Megillat Shir Hashirim, we'll speak a little bit about Megillat Shir Hashirim and what it comes to symbolize. Shir Hashirim, Asher Lishlomo, is a song of songs, because this song includes many songs. And the basic idea which we have to ask is, why is this book in Tanach? Now this obviously was a big question already in the days of Chazal, if this book is in Tanach, if it's not in Tanach, because we see that the machloket if metameh hayadayim or not metameh hayadayim, books that were part of the Tanach or books that were metameh hayadayim. Until Rabbi Akiva comes and says that his book is Kodesh Kodashim. But so we have to ask, well, what's the idea? What is this book coming to teach us? So I think the question obviously comes from the fact that this book seems to be focusing on a love story between two people. Now we have a lot of love in Tanach. We have Yaakov who sees Rachel. We have Yitzchak that takes Rivka, but a story that focuses completely on love. What is this? So some have said that these are just songs that were said in weddings. Different scholars said that, but that seems to be a little difficult because we see all these songs, they have some tragedy in them. Hikuni petzauni, naseut redidi me'alai shomere hachomot. So what is Shir Hashirim and what is it coming to teach us? We'll try to offer two different directions that complete each other. The first direction is that this book is a code. Megillat Shir Hashirim has a code to it. We have to decipher this code. Now, the way to decipher it is through different remazim to understand, to send us to different places in Tanach. For instance, someone said that Gan Na'ul, Achoti Chala, Gal Na'ul, Ma'yan Khatum, the pasuk there sends us to the story of Gan Eden. We have to look to see through the story of Gan Eden. Someone said the Shu'alim Ketanim, Mechabelim Kiramim needs to remind us of Shimshon, as well as Libavtini, or Vatichala, Libavtini Be'achat Me'enaich, Libavtini Be'achat Danak Mitzaveronaich, Be'achat Me'enaich, once again, reminds us of Shimshon. So when we see these codes, or maybe Naseut Redidi Me'alai Shomrei HaChomot, also sends us to the story of after Chet HaEgel, when Am Yisrael loses their Adiyim. They were carrying an Adi, and after Chet HaEgel, Veloshatu Ish Edio Alav, which means Shir Hashirim is some sort of chidah, some sort of riddle that we have to try and decipher through the different codes, through the different remazim, through the different links to different stories in Tanach. That's direction number one. Now the other direction that we see is to teach us about love, to teach us about the importance of love. Now we know love and sexuality bichlal was something that was very important in the pagan days. Back in the idol worshippers, we know that they had a lot of sexuality. When you look into it, for instance, they have different ceremonies where a kohen would have to have relations with a kohenet in order to do part of some religious ceremony. But when you look into it, and when you look into what the idea behind the maaseh was, the idea was to try to symbolize the love between the gods, which means the kohen symbolized one god, the kohenet symbolized a different god, and their connection was also the connection between the gods above. Because according to the idol worshippers, there were many gods. The pagan world consisted in many different gods. So the connection between them is what helps humans. So the connection on earth between humans can symbolize the connection between the gods above. Megillat Shir Hashirim teaches us a complete different idea. It's not a Megillah of love between the gods, Chalila. There is only one God. It's a Megillah of love between Hashem and Am Yisrael. It's a Megillah of love between Hashem and His chosen people, between Hashem and His creation. Which means it comes to show that we're not talking about love on a lower level between two of divine creatures, and us on earth can't even have any hasaga b'zeh. No, the love is the connection between Hashem and between Am Yisrael. In the Akdama L'Dat Mikra, we'll finish with this. The Akdama L'Dat Mikra says that sometimes it might bother us, the idea that love between Hashem and something holy can be discussions about a woman body, as we see through Megillat Shir Hashirim, and discussion of love between a couple. But he notenet. Exactly that is the point, to come and show us the purity and the holiness that this can consist of. Obviously, sexuality and obviously relations can be brought in the most tameh way, and we know about that, and we see on Pilegesh Begiv'ah and different stories in Tanach where that was brought as the worst way. But in Megillat Shir Hashirim teaches us about an alternative for love that symbolizes a connection, love that grows and grows, love that is dynamic, love that goes through better times, love that goes through worse times, love which is commitment as well. So we see Shir Hashirim, the mere fact that we use love in relation between a man and a woman to symbolize something, the fact that we use that shows what Judaism thinks about these ideas. That Judaism thinks that these ideas can be purified, these ideas can be brought to be something holy. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.